What's going on, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Boxing back again with another one. I'll talk about what happened this weekend in the sport of boxing. Some interesting and weird outcomes in some fights, man. Some strange happenings in the sport of boxing. We'll talk about the Terrence Crawford fight against Amir Khan. I told you guys, a lot of people were like, man, Amir Khan has never been outboxed, man. A lot of people were predicting, well, Amir Khan, he's probably going to be doing good early on in the fight. He's going to be outboxing Terrence Crawford for the first 3 or 4 rounds. And I said, no way that's not going to happen. Terrence Crawford is an A+ boxer, man, a great tactician, a great technical fighter with great skills, man. And I told you guys that Amir Khan not going to outbox him. And as you see, Terrence Crawford was actually outboxing him and was, hurt him bad in the first round and was hitting him with overhand rights, man, and giving the guy a boxing lesson, basically giving Amir Khan a boxing lesson, man. Amir Khan had his moments. He fought a courageous fight up until he quit. He got hit, with a low blow. It was more toward the leg, more toward the thigh area, but he was a guy that had been defeated mentally, man. He knew there was no way he was going to be able to win the fight, and that was just an excuse that he needed to get out the side door and get out the house, man, and basically quit on the fight. So that's what happened in that fight, man. Great win by Terrence Crawford. After the fight, he called out Errol Spence once again. I don't see that fight happening next. I think Errol, he's in negotiations with Sean Porter, a unification matchup. That look like that's going to be likely next. So Terrence Crawford's going to be looking for a dance partner, And I think Brook is the guy that we need to look at. He was at the fight. He basically said that the Khan fight is dead. He said Khan looked horrible. He said Khan need to be slapped. Khan rubbed him the wrong way. He said before the matchup with Terrence Crawford, before he signed to fight Terrence Crawford, that he shook his hand, looked him dead in the eye, and said that he was fighting him next, Brook next. And then a week or 2 later, he signed to fight Terrence Crawford. So Brook said that rubbed him the wrong way, and he's not looking to fight him. Plus that fight has lost a lot of luster, man. I think even Eddie Hearn got to admit that fight has lost a lot of luster, man. If they do that fight in London, man, they probably got to put that fight in the O2 Arena. That was probably a stadium fight before this outcome with Khan and Terrence Crawford. That probably was a big stadium fight. But now I think they probably had to put that fight in O2 Arena, man. It's lost a lot of luster. It's a fight that's basically, it's still do good numbers and good ratings in the UK, but it's strictly, if they fight, it's strictly a UK domestic level fight, man. It's not a fight that, that can take place in UK, but still like a world, world known, world recognition, basically international style of fight. Like when Anthony Johnson fought Joseph Parker, that was not a UK domestic level fight. That was a fight for two title holders unified in the heavyweight division. So that fight was a world international style fight. It wasn't a domestic level fight. It was a world fight. So I think that's the level that we on if we do see a Brook versus Amir Khan. Both guys are well past their prime. They've seen their best days, and it probably would be a good fight. It could be an action-packed fight because Khan is never in a boring fight. So is Brook. Brook has been in some exciting fights, and I think it'll be a good fight, man. But it's lost its luster, man. If they'd have fought, maybe a couple of years ago, man, like I say, they probably would have put that fight in Wembley or somewhere like that, and it would have been a big world level championship fight. Even if belts weren't on the line when they fought, it would have been a world level fight instead of a domestic clash. That's what we're looking at right now. But good win. But back to what Terrence Crawford did. Good win by Terrence Crawford. I think if the opponents that he needs to be looking at now, it's gonna be kind of hard to get Spence, because Spence is in negotiations with Sean Porter. So I think Brook is a guy that he maybe can look at. Maybe they can do that fight. Maybe they can do that fight again in New York, maybe Madison Square Garden, or maybe they can go to Las Vegas and do that fight. That's a matchup that we maybe see next. If not that, maybe you try to get Udonis Ugas. You bring him over. He's a PBC fighter. He came real close against Sean Porter fighting for the WBC belt. A lot of people felt that he was robbed in that fight. It was a very close fight. He wasn't robbed. In time, robbery is like, you get beat 9-3 and they give it to the other guy. It was a close fight, but a lot of people thought Ugas won. A lot of people thought Sean Porter won. That could be a potential matchup with Terrence Crawford, but the thing about it is Terrence Crawford just fought voluntary. I think they might, the WBO, will they come step in and say, hey, man, you got to fight your mandatory. You had one voluntary, you can't have another voluntary. Because if you fight Ugas, that would be a voluntary. I don't think Ugas is ranked in the WBO. He might be ranked in the WBO. I have to go back and check, but he's definitely not the number one mandatory. That goes to Kavalauskas. He's the number one mandatory for the WBO belt. So it'd be interesting to see if they allow him to have another voluntary. Maybe you look at a Ugas maybe next. But that's probably the options Terrence Crawford looking at. Maybe Brook, maybe Udonis Ugas, maybe he had to fulfill his mandatory and fight Kavalauskas, the Russian. That's what Terrence Crawford is looking at. As far as the Danny Garcia matchup with Adrian Granados, man, that was a great performance by Danny, man. This is probably the best he looked in 2 years, man. Great win, man. He was able to catch Granados with the left hook because Granados kept dropping the right hand, man. He kept catching him with that left hook, man. He dropped him with the first knockdown was with the left hook as Granados was dropped his right hand. The thing about Granados was he stayed in the pocket too long. That's the same thing happening with Amir Khan, man, to a certain extent, man. Same thing happening, man. When you fighting a counter-puncher, especially a counter-puncher like a Danny Garcia, man, he doesn't mind exchanging with you, man, because he's looking to, catch you with that left hook, man. He's probably one of the most powerful punchers at 147. I don't see too many guys just pure power. I don't see too many guys that can match up with Danny Garcia as far as pure power. You got some good guys that got good solid power like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. But I think pound for pound, let's say power, I'm not going to say pound for pound, but power for power, just straight pure power in both hands, left hook, right hand, there's nobody got more power than Danny Garcia. And Granados, I think he got a little too greedy, man. He got into the exchanges with Danny and stayed there too long and dropped his right hand, and he ended up getting caught with the left hook. And then he started getting caught with the right hand. He got so bad in the fight that even when Danny Garcia fainted like he was going to throw the right, Granados would turn his head like he was getting hit anyway. Like, he was turning his head like anticipating getting hit. And he was just 2 times to having in the fight where he fainted like he was going to throw the right, and Granados turned his head like he was getting hit anyway, like a ghost was hitting him with the right hand. That's how that right hand was pretty much in his head, man. He was just so worried about that right hand, man, and he was anticipating. Even when he didn't get hit, he was anticipating getting hit. So that was the story of the fight, man. I thought Granados stayed in exchanges with Granados too long. He should have. Actually, in the first round, he actually was doing good in the first round. The first round was very close, even though I gave that round to Danny Garcia because I thought he landed the more powerful punches. Granados actually outlanded Garcia if you go by punch stats on Fox. He actually outlanded him, and he should have stuck to that game plan. He was able to go to the body. He was hitting him with a jab to the body. He was hitting him with some overhand rights. And he was doing pretty good, but he stayed in it. When he got in the middle of the ring with Dan, he started trying to exchange. He started exchanging with him, and he stayed in the pocket too long. And then and the thing about it is, when he stayed in the pocket, if you're gonna stay in the pocket, you gotta be defensive responsible. He stayed in the pocket and he kept dropping the right hand when he was throwing his punches, and that just was tailor made for a left hook artist like Danny Garcia to catch you with his A-money punch, man. And that's what happened, man. He ended up dropping him, and it was all downhill. Because even that first knockdown, you could tell that Granados was hurt real bad, man. And Granados was so worried about the left that set up the right hand from Garcia. He was touching him up with the right hand all night long. And it was just a great fight by Danny, man. He showed more aggressiveness. He showed, he showed a real good he showed more dimension to his game. You know, everybody know about his left hook, man. But he showed everybody that his overhand right is just as powerful as his left hook, man. He was able to show that against Granados. You know, if he fights other fighters, it's gonna be a different ball game. You know, if he get in there and fight like an Errol Spence and stuff like that, Errol Spence got a jab, you know, that he's got to get by. And when he starts trying to throw that left hook, man, you know, Errol's gonna probably put his go in high guard, and block that left hook, and then go right back to using his jab, go back to using his jab, and then setting that jab up with the overhand right. So he's got the I think he's gonna have to show a little bit more dimension as far as going to the body a little bit more. I thought he could have did that actually a little bit more against Granados. He was head hunting a lot, which you can't blame him because he was hurting him with power shots to the head. So that kind of mesmerized any fighter to keep doing that. You see, you're hurting the guy to the head, but against a fighter like Errol Spence, he's gonna take that left hook away from him. He's gonna keep that high guard up, and he's gonna be anticipating to throw that left hook. So he's gonna have to maybe go to the body a little bit more if he fight like Errol Spence. Even if he fight like a Manny Pacquiao is a very smart fighter, been around the block a long time. A very aggressive fighter, man. He comes in with the 1-2, but actually, sometimes Pacquiao comes in reckless, so that left hook could be significant for Danny Garcia. He can actually catch Manny rushing in reckless a lot of times, just like he did Juan Manuel Marquez, and maybe catching with the left hook, or maybe catching with the overhand right. So I think that's actually a better matchup for him, Manny Pacquiao, for Danny Garcia. Errol Spence. You fight like a Errol Spence, a guy that can box, or even Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Crawford probably maybe the worst matchup for him. Terrence Crawford is probably the worst matchup for him, man. He was getting hit with them overhand rights, man. Terrence Crawford, you can't take them type of punch from Terrence Crawford. He's gonna be hitting you with the overhand right. He's gonna be touching you with the jab. He's gonna be going to your body, breaking you down, and that would be probably be a bad matchup, because what Bud gonna do is Danny want to throw that left hook. He's gonna take that away from him, and then maybe Danny might have some sets early on, with the overhand right, because Bud gonna take the left hook away, so that might set up the right for Danny. So he might have good early on, but eventually he's gonna negate that overhand right too, man. Bud, he's gonna negate that too, man. He's just a complete fighter. He's gonna negate that, man, with that overhand right, man. He's gonna roll with that or duck that, and then when you throw the overhand right, he's gonna go to your body and have Danny Garcia hesitant to throw the overhand right. Because when you throw that overhand right, Bud gonna make him miss with that. He's gonna go to the body and stay real low, so where he ain't susceptible to that left hook though. So Terrence is a tactician, PhD in boxing, man, a professor, and that's probably the worst possible matchup for Danny Garcia. I think the matchup that people might get, the quiet is kept that people ain't talking about is Mikey Garcia, especially if he stay at 147. I think that's the matchup that we might get, Danny Garcia versus Mikey Garcia, because especially if Mikey relinquishes the 135-pound WBC belt at lightweight, I think that means he's gonna stay at 147. He don't have no fights at 140. Everybody's that's of any significance in that tournament. So I think he will stay at 147, and I think that'll be a matchup that Danny would like. He fighting another guy that's smaller, because that's another thing you can see in the Danny Garcia versus Adrian Granados fight. The size different. Danny Garcia was much bigger than Granados. Granados need to go back down to 140, man. He's not a 147 pounder. He needs to go back down to 140. You can see the size different. And I think Danny actually, man, he actually probably can go to 154 if he wanted to. After he finish his business at 147, he actually can go to 154 and fight for a belt. That'd be a good matchup. They got a lot of guys. I'm not saying he could be like a Jared Hurd or elite level guys, guys of that ilk. Even a Tony Harrison, a guy that's a very tough boxer, slick boxer. But maybe he could fight that. I forgot that guy name. It was the last guy that Israelano Lara had a draw with. That was a draw. That guy ended up keeping this belt. I forgot the guy's name. They fought at the Barclays. Maybe Danny Garcia can fight him. That for at a 154, Danny Garcia will have a chance to beat him. That'd actually be a real good fight. That guy comes to fight, man. He throws a lot of punches, aggressive style fighter. But against a counter puncher like Danny, that'd be a good stylistic matchup. So Danny Garcia's got a lot of options. I think I'm gonna make a prediction prediction that I think his next fight, if this is a big if Danny doesn't go back down to 135, that means he's going to 147. 140, he's not gonna fight at 140. He's either gonna go down to 135, defend his belt, or stay at 147. If he stay at 147, the only fight that makes sense for him is Danny Garcia. You know, he's been in a big fight with Errol Spence. I don't think he any other fight will get his mojo going, get him focused, and get him revved up, excited to fight. He's looking. I think he's got to be in a real big fight. Man, anytime you're in a fight with 47,000 people at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, pay-per-view fight with Errol Spence, you can't go from that and then fight some tune-up fight. You know, it's gonna be hard for him to get motivated, especially with the money he made in the Errol Spence fight. So he's gonna be looking to fight another big name. I think Danny Garcia fits the bill. Danny will take the fight, especially if Keith Thurman is fighting Pacquiao as they're in negotiation. Sean Porter is getting ready to fight Errol Spence. They're in negotiation. So that'll leave them, that'll leave him out, that'll leave him kind of out in the cold as far as fighting those fighters. And that will leave him to fight Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is probably the best name for him, where he can make the most money. You notice he made $1 million in this fight against Ronaldo, so he's gonna be looking to get back to what he was making before this fight. He actually took a pay cut. Most of his fights he's making at least $2 million in most of his fights, but he suffered a couple of close losses. Fighting a guy like Ronaldo, a guy that's not on the stature of Sean Porter or Keith Thurman. He had to take a little bit less person he usually takes. So I think he's going to be looking to get back at the good, fantastic win. I think he's going to be looking to get back and fight a big name and make a good purse. So I think that's the fight to be made, man. Especially if Danny stays at especially if Mikey stays at 147. Mikey Garcia versus Danny Garcia. That should be the fight to be made. Yeah, another thing, Teofimo Lopez looked very good last night, man. Explosive, man. Ended up stopping a guy, Tahiti, I think the guy's name is. The guy had never been stopped in his pro career. He was able to stop him with a vicious body shot, knocked him out. Looking very, very, very good, man. Looking very explosive, man. I think Teofimo Lopez' problem now is find somebody that's gonna fight him, man. He's looking to fight for a belt, but. I saw an interview with Richard Comey. Richard Comey is saying he wants to take a tune-up, and then I think he's going to be looking at fight Lomachenko. So that's that. So I don't think that fight's happening next for Teofimo Lopez. I think Luke Campbell, is going to be if Mike Garcia drops the belt, they're going to be looking to match up Luke Campbell maybe with a Devin Haney. I've heard that Devin Haney is very close to signing with DAZN and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. So I think if he signs with them, I think they'll set up a matchup between Devin Haney and Luke Campbell for the WBC title at 135. If Mikey Garcia drops the belt, I think WBC could order that fight, Devin Haney versus Luke Campbell, and then maybe they can make that fight over in the UK. They probably put that in the O2 Arena or somewhere like that. They probably do good numbers over there in the UK. So that'll probably take the WBC title out the mix for Teofimo Lopez. So I don't know where he's gonna go, man. I think he's gonna just have to keep looking good, and then his first title shot is probably gonna be against if I had to guess, against Vasily Lomachenko. I don't think he's gonna have a belt before then. The way things are looking right now, I think he's gonna have to keep winning. I think he needs to go to Bob and really try to press for Pedraza. Probably press for Pedraza. Try to see if, you need to offer Pedraza some good money, man. Probably some, at least some, what he made against Lomachenko. To make, offer him that, or maybe even more than he made against Lomachenko. Just get the guy in the ring, get him against Teofimo Lopez, and that could be a big matchup. Let Teofimo Lopez headline that fight, put that on ESPN, and let him headline that fight. And if he is able to defeat Pedraza, which I believe he would, then you can set up a matchup at the end of the year between Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. You can put it on ESPN pay-per-view or ESPN Plus, because both fighters are going to want nice size purse for that fight. So it's not going to probably be able to be put on ESPN. ESPN Plus got a bigger budget, and then ESPN pay-per-view, obviously, you give the guys a guarantee, and then plus pay-per-view upside where they can make their purse that they will want to make fighting a fight of that magnitude. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. But again, the big winners over the weekend, were Chance Crawford, Danny Garcia, Teofimo Lopez. These are 3 guys to look out for later on this year. All 3 of these guys you can see in significant fights, and we'll see how it plays out, man. Again, this is JB Boxing, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.